Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Wolf, and I'm dual casting a game with Pyrrhic. For the blue Protoss Sergeant Sully, I like to think, or SrSulley. Top versus opponent MrFixit Red Zerg on Scrap Station. So, Pyrrhic, say hello to everybody.
Hello everyone, my name is Pyrrhic. You can check me out over at Pyrrhic Starcraft. I'm sure Icefang will be nice enough to put a link down that at the bottom.
Well, I'm not very nice, but I'll do it anyway. So, do you have any opinions of,
Oh, thank you.
So, you have any opinions on Scrap Station? Personally, I very much like Scrap Station. It's also very imbalanced for Zerg, as we know from that professional player. If you remember his thread, Overlords are overpowered. I mean, the Overlord is going to scout before any Protoss. I mean, before the Protoss can even deal with it. So, what do you think about Scrap Station there, Pyrrhic?
Personally, I hate this map. I have it X'd out. It does have some really nice geography though. It's very unique. It leads to odd playstyles, but I just hate it.
I like the uniqueness of the map. I feel like, I mean, there's so many similar maps. It's just Scrap Station. Plus, the very first StarCraft 2 game I ever watched, Battle Report, like number 2, for the beta or whatever it was. It was on Scrap Station. It was a Nara StarCraft casting it, and before I even ever played or saw StarCraft 1, I got to watch it, and I thought, this is so cool. So I got a little spot in my heart for it. Just a quick note, you guys, just so you know, dual casting can get a little bit risque, so just in case, Pyrrhic, sometimes he and I can get a little disconnected on the replay bar. I've seen it before with Raven, where I'll be ahead by like a minute or whatever, so if we do get a little disconnected, it might take a second to fix it up, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah, actually, if I would like to say, I've got a little soft spot for doing dual commentaries because the first StarCraft commentary I ever watched was a dual commentary between Husky and HD back when I liked them.
Well, that made me LOL. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I thought that was funny. My first commentator I watched was HD, and actually it was funny because Raven the Asian said, you should watch Husky. I think he's more professional. Now in retrospect, we can see that Raven was wrong.
Isn't Raven always wrong?
Raven's probably in the Master Race League, so he's let's just say he's addicted to StarCraft. He's got problems with it. So, players, I think, yep, very first thing that's actually different, can be different in games, we have the Red Zerg expanding, sort of. He tried to, and then he failed at it. So, Red's trying to expand, and then we see the Automaton 3000 or 2000, whatever, is watching that base expand. So, he's also saving the Overlord, so very wise play. Able to see what SrSulley is doing, hard to say sometimes. He put up the gate cyber gate. It's really important to see your Protoss opponent. If he goes gate cyber, you can usually expect heavy zealot aggression. If he goes gate cyber gate, then you're going to see more standard stuff. So
I'd just like to point out,
yeah,
that expansion was kind of late. It's alright, go ahead.
No, I was actually about to ask about that. It was a bit late. It was at 18, so went for the spawning pool first, though, and the gas. A little bit more defensive here. Not bad, though. I have to say that with the Overlord scouting, he should have been able to see that it was going gate cyber gate, so he should have been able to expand faster than that.
Well, this is Scrap Station. This is a map where you just can't get fast rushed. You can just go straight for that hatch first if you're Zerg.
Yeah, that too. I always forget to remember how long the rush distance is on this map. That's the big factor for this map, is that rush distance is really long. We also have the Zerg player. He's currently spawning, I do believe, 14 Zerglings, so we could see some kind of Zergling aggression here. His metabolic boost will be done by the time he gets across the map. So, and the hatchery's about to be done for the Zerg as well. So.
Okay, I'm actually ahead of you. I am at 6 minutes and 16 seconds, so let me know when you catch up, please.
Okay. There you guys, you see how that can be a problem there? That's how it works. The on my screen right now, the Zerglings are just getting across the map. Metabolic boost is almost done. There it goes. And so they're done. They're going to move in probably. SrSulley does have enough stuff going on here, though. He's got... the moving out is what's going to really hurt him, since his units are all going to be spread out. If he uses the Zerglings wisely and hits the units one at a time, and... oh, he's actually going to run by. That's really big. Okay, you're able to restart in about 3, 2, 1, restart. Yeah, so now he's going to use the Zerglings to snipe out that Stalker, and then he's going to go for the probe line there.
You know, can I just say on probe lines, if you know you've got a limited time to attack them, take out the ones going for gas first, because that is such a limiting factor.
That's very good advice. I have to agree with that, especially at certain points in the game, like right when you try to make a tech switch as Protoss, or if you're trying to get to tier 3 Protoss units, getting the gas hit can be a really big thing. So, the Zerg player just putting down a Spire, so he's going to do Mutiling. Very unwise usually to do against that. If SrSulley sees it, then all he's got to do is put up a starport. He'll probably be able to just win. He is also securing his expansion, though, which is very wise. Was able to hold off the attack pretty well. Lost some probes in there, but not too bad. So he held that off pretty well, and now he's expanding.
Yeah, Mutiling is why I hate this map, even as a Protoss player. Well, I suppose now the changes to patch 1.2, they've made it easier to deal with. You know, you get those Phoenix faster. But it's just so easy for the Mutalisks to dart in and out of your base while you're still trying to react to it.
That'd be our Ventrilo. Huh. Yeah, I mean, Mutalisks like Phoenix and Banshees can be really deadly, not the way they just kind of hit your... I don't want to phrase this. They're really deadly, not to the ground, of course, but just forcing you to get defensive is exactly where they're bad. So losing a Stalker, they definitely don't want to lose that. So I have to say that it's happened to me. If you guys are moving your army across the map, you need to make sure your Stalkers move out at a later time, or you have to really pay attention and make sure they don't get separated from the Zealots, because lost 2 sentries in there, I believe, and 1 Stalker, not where you want to be. I do... Pyrrhic, what do you think about this attack here with these 7 Zealots? 6.
Well, I'm ahead of you again, so I'd see how it ends. It does actually go pretty well for him, I have to say.
I will... just tell me what time you're at, and I will tell you when you keep going.
I am at 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Jesus wow. What the heck? I mean, we're running the same replay. I don't know why it could be doing this, but I'm going to just pretend that it actually goes really well, because it looks like it's going really well, so let's keep watching. Did take out the expansion, which I have to say was pretty wise. There's not much you could do with it with 4 Zealots, so it'd actually make more sense to fall back, and I think he kind of is, so I think Pyrrhic lied to us. He's a liar. Zergling's going in there, just checking out for proxies, I guess.
He does get rid of most of the drones, and then he does retreat. Sorry, I'm spoiling the game for your viewers.
No, I'm about 920 right now, so... okay, 9:30...
Right, well, while I'm sitting here...
Go ahead.
Well, while I was sitting here with the game pause, I took a look around. SrSulley, not using his gateways that well. He could be warping things in right now, and he's not.
Especially some more sentries. He's got a lot of gas. It looks like the Mutalisks were able to hit his mineral line pretty hard. I did miss that when he hit... when his opponent's drones, the Mutalisks hit the mineral line really hard. So if you notice that you've got an abundance of gas compared to your minerals, move those probes out of the gas and get them back on the minerals until you can start resaturating the mineral lines up. Just moved over...
And that little Zergling attack.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say...
there was that little Zergling attack. MrFixit did that Zergling attack. Cost him a lot more mining time. So, you know, he's really low on minerals right now, but he's still got that gas surplus.
And my game froze up a little bit there. I did fast forward for just a second, so... you said MrFixit's got gas surplus, or... I didn't
No,
quite.
sorry, SrSulley has a massive gas surplus.
Yeah, so moving the probes over. He just did that though, since they had all died from the gas, except for that one guy. He's moved them back. So I hope we're on about the same page here. I'll be kind of speeding up the viewers. I'll be speeding up the replay a little bit from time to time to try to keep up with them. So, you know, ×2 speed. We're all used to that. When I start lagging up, I'm like, oh, let's ×2 speed it. Got enough stalkers here, I think, to deal with this. He's warping in one more. So you can see how his mineral's starting to really slow him down there. And poor pylon placement, really bad. You definitely want to have at least 3 buildings powering each of them, especially in a building positioning like that, where they're all so close together.
Okay, are you done with the Mutalisk attack yet?
Yep, just finished. And it froze again, but I'm fast forwarding a little bit, so it's all evening out. It's good.
Alright, well, he starts throwing down a Twilight Council, I'm assuming for Blink, so he can deal with those Mutalisks. And now he's breaking down the rocks, so that he has a better chance to just go straight to that Zerg base, which is defended by 3 Spinecrawler.
Yeah, the Zerg player is definitely not doing so hot in his defenses right now, although his macro is staying on top really nicely. Sully's macro is doing pretty well as well. It's just that he's been hit so hard that he's lost a lot of his ability to he's lost his ability to get minerals from the dead probes. That's a good moment for my brain to work out. Should be able to push right through those 3 spine crawlers though. We do have a roach warren being done though, probably to fight off the zealots mostly, and he's going to need some zergling and zealots. He does have a buildup of larvae, but he's getting way too many mutalisks. Although if the Zerg player attacked right now, he would be able to do a lot of damage to everything Sully has.
Okay, well, he's actually getting burrow, which I like. You know, units get wounded, you put them back down there, they heal up. And he ends up bringing down the Mutalisks for defense. Which, yeah, I suppose it's better than trying to do a base race.
I don't know if you're going to win a base race with Mutalisks. That's one of the biggest weaknesses to them. Ooh, nice force field too. I didn't expect that. It didn't stop them, but it certainly slowed them up and clumped them up. If he had one like Archon or something similar, Colossus, that would have definitely roasted those guys up. And I did get a little bit ahead of you myself, so I'm doing it on normal speed right now. Actually, it looks like the Mutalisks are attacking the base.
No, I got way ahead of you. I'm at 15 minutes exactly now.
Oh. Dang, they need to have the ability so you can view replays together. That would be very nice. Oh, there they are. Now they're coming down. Okay, now they are coming down. And the game is freezing a little bit.
Yeah, I don't get it. He got burrow, but he never does anything with it. Why waste that investment?
Yeah, burrow.
Especially, you know, keep your drones alive, heal up your roaches really fast.
Burrow is really effective against Protoss because we have to go robotics to get mobile detection. I mean, right here in the game, about 14.5 minutes, you can see he's attacking the drones, and they all have, they don't actually currently have Burrow, but if they did have Burrow, they'd be able to burrow and be completely safe from the Protoss army. So, if you use Burrow, you can force the Protoss player to head towards robotics tech instead of going a different tech path, and forcing your opponent's tech path is always a wise thing to do.
You know what? I missed it. Burrow was being researched at the expansion that went down, so he doesn't have Burrow.
Oh, okay. So I'm at 10 minutes now. Ooh. Not 10 minutes. You know what I said. 15 minutes, 10 seconds.
Okay, I'm caught back up. And the Mutalisks are going in for their harassment. That's good. Keep your opponent on the defensive. Always a good plan. Any thoughts on that, Icefang?
Especially when you are behind getting his natural destroyed, the Zerg player needs to do as much damage as possible. If I look at the units lost tab, you can see that Red has lost less at this point in the game. Probably when he started harassing, though, he did have... he's probably about even. The big thing is, though, he's taking out the pylon, so he'll lose pylon power. And Sully won't be able to do anything about it. He's not warping in enough units, and now he's lost power to all of his buildings. He does have 3 2 cannons up there by his main base, and he's got 7 cannons warping in by his natural. So that should be enough to hold off the Mutalisk, but the cost of the probes is pretty high. SrSulley does have 2 expansions, so he should be able to resaturate faster than his opponent, who's just expanding again. Just started that up. And so this is, the harass is kind of giving him the time he needs, the red Zerg, the time he needs to expand back to where he wants to be.
Yeah, if I could say, MrFixit here, the red Zerg, he actually has really good control over these mutas. Like, he has a tendency to pick out the sentries that are putting up guardian shields and things like that. And of course he goes for the pylons first, and he's really good at getting him out of the way of these photon cannons.
I gotta agree with that. If you see, what are they called? Sentries, like you said. If you see sentries, sentries are a really big thing because the Protoss army benefits greatly from micro. I want to keep saying Sully now. Gotta not look at his name. The sentry really benefits greatly from good microcontrol, so sniping them out with things like Mutalisks and you know, any unit that can get a good quick hit on it, maybe a Phoenix, are really good against hitting those sentries. You always want to be able to take them out. Guardian Shield in general is actually really good against Mutalisks because they do 9 damage, 3 damage, and I think it's like 933 if I recall correctly. Actually, it's 963, I believe is what it is. They hit the first target, second and the third, and so it lowers the damage to 751, and that's definitely where you want to. It lowers quite a bit of damage, Guardian Shield. It's very good against Mutalisk. Plus, sentries actually do pretty good damage to units, although obviously you'll need some Stalker support to do well. Do weller.
Yeah, all this Mutalisk harassment, by the way, has allowed him to start getting up a third. I don't know if you are where I am. I'm at 19 minutes. Let me know if I need to pause again.
Yeah, go ahead and pause for a second, because I just put it at ×2 speed. I'm at about 830 right now. He's actually just getting Blink done, getting a lot more Stalkers than I would deal with the Mutalisk. And if you have good Blink control, you can deal with the Zerglings fine enough. Zerglings and Roaches. It is hard for Zerg to deal with mass Blink Stalkers if you've got good control. The only real counter to that would be Infestors with Fungal Growth because they hold them in place, or just out-macroing your opponent who's trying to do this crap. Like, look, I'm on 2 base Blink Stalker. You're like, well, I'm on 4 base. Here's an army. Here's another army. Okay, I'm at 9:10 now, so you can go and press resume again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's no bother. Let's see. He's got a really nice number of roaches. That's 16 plus 7. I can't do math.
23, 24
He's getting
now.
the always necessary roach speed.
And 2 evolution chambers.
Thank you, sir.
I have to say it's kind of dangerous to get 2 evolution chambers at this time. He's got a very lack of gas. He won't be able to do very much with them.
His main, is almost completely mined out. He needs to start transferring these drones down, and he doesn't have very good creep speed. He's just right now is really when he's starting to spread it out. Oh, and Protoss going for that +2 weapons.
I did miss that actually. That it doesn't benefit Stalkers as well, but of course if you've got a large army, you want plus more. Who doesn't like more plus? I was gonna say the Zerg player is not using his extractors well at all. He's currently got 2 of them saturated out of the 4 that he has built, and out of the 6 he could have built. And he really needs more gas at this time. He's kind of catching up overall in his minerals and gas, so he's coming out even, but for right there, he was really having a lot of trouble with his gas problems.
Yeah, that's one of the features of patch 1.2 I like, is you just click, you can see exactly how many harvesters there are. Good for casters, good for if you're in the game, you're in a hurry, you just kinda poke at it and see what's there. Oh, we're getting Corruptors out. I'm not sure why he's doing this. Maybe Broodlords, but he's not getting a Greater Spire, he doesn't even have a Hive yet. No, he's getting the Infestation Pit, so he's going to be going towards Hive, and I'm betting we're going to see Broodlords which can be quite hard for the Protoss to deal with, but with good blink stalker control, you should be able to handle it fine. What do you think, Iceman?
Yeah, I definitely gotta agree with that. Broodlords are very hard for Protoss to deal with. The best unit to fight them that's not too out of the way to get for you would be Blink Stalkers. Of course, Voiders would be better. Carriers can do well as well. But Stalkers with Blink aren't too far out of the way to get usually. And they can be very effective for dealing with Broodlords. Let me see here. How many Corruptors does he have? I'm trying to find them. I might actually be a little bit behind you. Let me speed it up. Look at the Units tab. Yeah, he doesn't have any Corruptors yet. Look at the Production tab. There they are. So he's getting 6 Corruptors right now. I'm at 22.15.
Yeah. 6? I only see 5. I'm at 23. I'm going to pause again.
Right now the Zerg player is going for those rocks, so I'm going to try to hit Protoss player on both sides, but Blink will actually give him the advantage there, and plus he's also got the... if he has the Roaches kind of in a bad spot, he can take advantage of their lack of range compared to Stalkers. Plus with Blink, you can protect them from dying, so... moving in there, attacking the buildings, not very wise for half of his army, you know, not half, part of his army to be doing. Well, these Stalkers are doing some hit and fall back action, really nice there. Fortunately, Roaches don't have Burrow, which if he did would be... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's the Zerg player just doesn't quite seem to know what he wants. He like goes for the Stalkers, then he goes for the buildings, then he like sends some after the Stalkers and some after the buildings. He really just needs to pick one and go for it.
You can unpause as well right now.
Outstanding, thank you.
I think I'm going to keep playing at ×2 speed. It seems like if I do that, we might be able to keep up together. So we're going to play at ×2 speed, guys. We're going to have to cast really, really fast. I think the Zerg player might have got Corruptors, though, to deal with Colossus. I wouldn't be surprised if that's just what he did, blindly assuming that there'd be Colossus. And so he's kind of surprised right now to see Blink Stalkers, I'm sure. He's also kind of surprised to see that his Roaches, I assume, to see that his Roaches aren't doing as well as he wants them to do. Against Colossus, they'll be more effective.
A back and forth going on between the Roaches and the Stalkers, and like I'm saying, you know, Mr. Zerg player, pick one. Commit to the attack or don't commit to the attack. Pick a target. And here we actually have a large army of, well, not large.
A large army of what?
I don't know, he is getting that hive up.
He might actually be trying to get a flank off with those Broodlords. It would be a very nice hit if he could do that.
Yeah, I said a whole speech and I forgot to hold down my push to talk button. Sorry, he had an army of Zerglings coming up to complement the Roaches. So, and he is getting his hive up. He could afford Greater Spire, but I think he's just too focused on the battle right now.
Yeah, he really needs a lot more Zerglings right now. And the engagement is happening. The Zerglings are getting all caught in the Roaches. The Roaches are in a horrible position. The Stalkers are in a they're in okay position. They want to be a little bit closer so more of them can shoot, but they're not being hit as badly. And now he's able to use the Blink to help protect them, which in the smaller kind of, you see how the front part of the head of the Stalkers are fighting the head of the Roaches, it's easier to micro smaller groups of Stalkers. Alright, I think SrSulley did take care of that army pretty well there. Now he's going to go ahead and do a counter push here. I don't know if he's going to be able to have... If you could get Broodlords out in time. He is morphing into a Greater Spire, so you were correct about saying Broodlords. I did not see that in the preload.
You know what I think he really needs right now, though? Infestors. Fungal growth would be incredibly useful here.
I'm afraid this may be one of the cases where the Zerg player teched up a little too fast.
Yeah, after he did his mute harass, it seemed like he was concerned with trying to catch up to the plan he had, instead of trying to, you know, defend himself properly.
He's leaving his Roaches just got slaughtered in that engagement, and the Corruptors are just sitting there. I mean, of course they can't do anything right now, but they're just sitting there. Mutalisks are just sitting there, so you definitely would be hitting the opponent's base with the Mutalisks, although I don't think that the Zerg player's got much left going for him. We also have SrSulley taking the gold. I don't know if that's going to play a big factor in the game, and the Greater Spire is 20 seconds away. So if he does save up enough gas, and he morphs in as many Broodlords as he can, he's got a good chance of coming back in this game. But right now, these Stalkers are just going crazy. They're having a heyday against all these poor little drones. The Greater Spire just finished not too long ago, so now he's actually going to be able to morph in Broodlords. I don't know if he is, although Broodlords are slower than Corruptors, so it would have made more sense to get them closer and then morph them. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get them over here, plus he's not morphing in that many. He needs to change as many as he can.
Ah! I found them! I've been searching all over the map for these Broodlords, and I finally found them. You know, I think I'm still a little bit ahead of you, but I see why they are so far away, and I have to say I don't agree with it. Let me know when you catch up to what he does with the Broodlord.
Okay, I'm running on times 2 speed, so I'm probably a lot closer than that. They're actually just sniping out the Greater Spire right now. I remember a couple games where I played with Immortals, and I'll walk in there against Mutiling Zerg opponents, and I see the Spire and I think, shit, it's gotta die. Okay, you can go ahead and press resume now. The Broodlords have decided to start attacking the back of the base, I see.
Yes, they have, and you know, they're doing a little bit of damage, but there's no way they're going to do enough to actually affect this game that well.
We do have SrSulley falling back, though. I have to say I don't quite agree with that motion.
Really bad.
Oh, he just left. That sucked.
Zerg player's actually doing... Yeah, that's it. The game just ends.
What's wrong, MrFixit?
And
Go ahead and sink in the game. Pansy. he could have done something. He's got a fully going base here. And his Broodlords, it's not impossible. It's not close, but it's not impossible either, Pansy. So, Pyrrhic, you got any last things to say? I said you could say anything you'd like to say at the end. If you want to, maybe you can do an FAQ. Ask me one question you'd like to ask the wolf. Or if you'd like to just end it, you can just end it.
Okay, yeah, I have one question. Are you, or are you not, actually Captain Picard doing a fake voice?
You know my secret. Engage. Here's to the finest crew in Starfleet. Engage. I practiced that voice, but I'm not very good at it. Okay, Pyrrhic, go ahead and take us out then.
Okay, everyone, thank you for watching. This has been a dual cast between Icefang the Wolf of Ravenwolf StarCraft 2 and Pyrrhic
of Pyrrhic StarCraft. Check his channel out. I'll link it below. Ha ha ha!
Final word.